Hey guys, welcome to Feature Junkie. My name's Ed, and thank you guys for joining me today. If this is your first time here, well, welcome. This is Feature Junkie, where we talk all things movies, TV shows, streaming, all that amazing stuff. And today we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated Black Adam, directed by Jamin Collet-Serra, starring Dwayne Johnson, Sarah Shahi, Pierce Brosnan, and Aldous Hodge. Right now, IMDb has this movie as a 7.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has this as a 45%. And Metacritic also has this as a 45 out of 100. I've got a few things to say about this film, but before I do, if you can leave a like down below, I'd greatly appreciate that. Now let's get into the plot courtesy of IMDb. Nearly 5,000 years after he was bestowed with the almighty powers of the Egyptian gods and imprisoned just as quickly, Black Adam is freed from his earthly tomb, ready to unleash his unique form of justice on the modern world. So before we go any further, I do want to warn you guys that we're going to go into a few spoilers that happen throughout the movies. So if you haven't seen the movie already, just go ahead and watch it. I'll let you know now that, yeah, I do recommend this film. It's not like Endgames or like Infinity Wars type of level quality, but it's good enough that I think you guys will enjoy it. And if you like The Rock and you like action, then this is going to be the movie for you. So it's been 15 years that Dwayne Johnson's been trying to get this movie Black Adam into the theaters, and it's finally here. And I can say that Dwayne Johnson was really meant to play this role. He did an incredible job. Him specifically as the character Black Adam, very stoic, very powerful. Before the movie started, they gave us a fun fact that the suit of Black Adam has zero padding in it at all. It's all Dwayne Johnson, and the dude is buff, he's big, and you just see the power in everything that he does. I also liked Hawkeye as well. He's clearly not as strong as Black Adam, but the way they make him makes him feel like a worthy opponent. And the same thing with Dr. Fate. I loved his outfit. I thought out of everyone, his costume was probably the best one. I think a lot of people are going to compare similarities between Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate, basically because they both start with Doctor and they both deal with magic, and some of the magic they do in the movie kind of reminds you of the mirror dimension and stuff like that. But I think there's enough differences to differentiate the two. And I'll say a positive is, like, they did a really good job casting each specific person in their job. For me, Cyclone and Atom Smasher didn't even have to be in this movie. For me, they did nothing to push the story forward or help in any way. They were kind of just in the background the entire time. Now, the big news coming out of this movie is the huge spoiler in the end credit scenes, which is Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman. For me, it was spoiled about 2 weeks ago, so I already knew it going in that he was going to show up in the post-credit scene, but it's still an amazing moment to see him back in the Superman uniform. And you kind of could tell that, you know, they were leaning towards that. It was already confirmed by Warner Brothers that they were in the process of making a Man of Steel 2 days before the release even came out. And then obviously The Rock has been, you know, on social media hinting at it so much. Like, he wasn't even trying to hide the news, to be honest. So he comes back, and it's so awesome. I'm so happy for Henry Cavill after everything that has happened with the last regime in Warner Brothers. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do here on forward. Now, with saying all of that, there are a lot of problems I have with this film, and it has to do with the kind of wonky, cheesy dialogue and storyline. Like I said before, Dwayne Johnson's been trying to get this movie into the theaters for about 15 years now, and it kind of feels like this movie should have came out 15 years ago, because it's a lot of dialogue that's it's just feels outdated, to be honest. There's a kid in the movie that's got to be my biggest pet peeve in the movie. He's just so annoying, the way he comes off with his lines and the lines that they even give him. Like, I don't like to pick on kid actors because there's only so much you can do, but like, they could have at least helped him out with giving him better lines to read. They weren't good. The mom as well. Just that whole side arc of everything happening, and honestly, that was a big part of the film, so you couldn't just like put it in the background. It just doesn't fit, and it was just, I don't know, just outdated, to be honest. With saying all that, I feel like the wonky dialogue also messed up the pacing of the film. There's a lot of fight scenes in the film where it just felt like it was really forced, to be honest. That I understand you want to put a lot of action in the film, and there's some really cool kills and fight scenes in there. However, a lot of them didn't even make sense being in the film, to be honest, and it just felt like a big CGI like war going on. For me, it just wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest. The villain I didn't really like as well, but he wasn't really the main focal point of the story, so I'm cool with that stuff going on as well. And I just want to point out this small nitpick in the movie, and it actually is a nitpick I kind of have with most of The Rock's movies, including Hercules, where everyone has an accent and then all of a sudden he's speaking perfectly good English. And in this movie, in the beginning, he is speaking the language of their country, and for no reason at all, 5,000 years later, he speaks perfect English. There's no explanation, and yet the locals still have an accent to that as well. For some reason, The Rock doesn't have that. I don't know why that always happens, but it's just a small nitpick that always gets to me, and I just like, I can never just like get it out of my head the entire time I'm watching the film. So right now, Rotten Tomatoes has this as a 45%, which honestly, I didn't think it was that bad. I'm kind of like around where IMDb has it as like a 6, 7-ish type of movie. It wasn't bad. If, like I said in the beginning, if you like The Rock, if you like action, then this is the movie for you. They had a lot of, you know, wonky storyline, plot points, and dialogue going on. And again, the kid, just not my favorite in the film. And Cyclone and Addams Smasher didn't need to be there. But other than that, everything else was really great. It's good seeing The Rock as Black Adam. It's good seeing Henry Cavill back. I loved Hawkman, Dr. Fate, all that stuff. So for all that, I'm gonna give it a recommend. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about this film. Whatever it is, leave those thoughts in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe, hit that notification icon down below so you know when I'm going live or dropping new content. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here today on Feature Junkie.